Hey, what's up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in. Well, I haven't been on live in a couple of days or whatever. I really don't even go live anymore. But I've been watching these stories on YouTube, and it's basically me, and I have my own belief system on a lot of things, right? So I've been seeing like I didn't watch like five videos, and it's basically women women. Like nothing bad about them, but I just feel like my belief on HIV, HIV that in the world in today's world, it seems like more women are attracted or getting affected with HIV than men. That's what I feel. That more women are getting attracted, even if you in a marriage. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you married to somebody, more women are exposed to the virus nowadays, um because I just feel that women, this is what I truly feel. The major reason is that many women are putting too much trust in a man nowadays. They putting too much trust in a man. And when you putting all your trust in a man, when you putting all your trust in a man, either you're married, you're not, or whatever it is. And a lot of people sometimes they just jump into a marriage or jump into a relationship without knowing that person's status. You understand what I'm saying? Not knowing that person's status, but you jump into a relationship. When you jump into a relationship and when you want to be with somebody, I feel that you should go get tested, both parties that's involved in the relationship. Both parties should be able to go down there to know your status. So if anybody sneak off in that relationship, they would know where it comes from. You understand what I'm saying? And if you're not the one that's cheating, but I just feel like it's a lot of women, and that's all I've been seeing, like women telling their stories on how somebody gave them HIV and stuff like that. It's just cruel. It's crazy. So let me finish my so in a generation where loyalty is often spoken about but rarely lived out, too many hearts are trusting blindly instead of wisely. A lot of women love hard and believe a man will protect them, but not every man is leading with integrity and honesty. That's why the risk becomes greater than trust replaces y- you have to use your discernment. I'll just tell you that. Use your discernment on certain things. And for a lot of women, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage everyone, men and women. This is not about fear. This is not about fear. It's about wisdom. HIV is real. HIV is real. And it doesn't care about your age, beauty, relationship status, or loyalty. The best way to protect your health and your future is to make sure you know your status. Get tested regularly. Don't assume because someone seems clean that they truly are. See, when it comes to assumptions, you just, oh, well, you know, I've been doing this, and I've been having sex, and I've been doing this, and so everybody is not the same. So you got to know the person, not just jump in the sheets. He might be what's that song? What's that song? That song is it's Andy I Reid, Steady Love. He's a warrior in these streets, but the king in my sheets. See, that's what a lot of people worry about. A lot of people worry about, oh, he's the king in my sheets. Stop worrying about the king in your sheets. Worry about that status more. Love yourself enough to ask questions. Love yourself enough to ask questions, set boundaries, and protect your life. Awareness is power. Responsibility is love. And knowing your status is not pr- uh, protection. It's your strength. Stay wise, stay covered, and covered in all kinds of ways. If you know that you out there doing the wosy posy, whatever you want to call it, you know that it's a big thing of HIV right nowadays. It's a big thing that's happening. So if this is a big thing and this is what's going on in this world, you don't see the signs around you to open up your eyes. You got to open up your eyes. You can't worry about somebody else's eyes, or just because they fine, or just because he looked this way, or just because she looked this way. Don't worry about the king or the queen in your sheets. That's why you gotta ask questions, baby. Seriously. And a lot of people just and 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 that goes for the people that just buys, like buys sex. I'm just gonna say it like that, buy sex. When you buy sex, you don't know what you're buying. You don't know what you're buying. And I feel like when people buy sex, you at a garage sale. You getting a used item. You getting a used item. You understand what I'm saying? You getting a used item. So when you're buying sex, so who responsibility is that? Because you paying for it. You getting a used item. This item is already washed up. Probably already had somebody else to come in. I don't care if it's a woman buying sex from a man. I don't care if it's a man buying sex from a woman, or however it is, whatever, if I said it right, wrong. When you're buying that, who knows what you're going to go get? Who knows that? You don't know. So therefore, if you know that, then a lot of people like to not use protection. A lot of people don't like to use protection, even when they're going to go buy something, because the mindset that you have is all about trust. It's a mindset of, oh, this person okay, this person okay. But do you know what you're buying? You don't know. You just want that feeling for that moment. That feeling for the moment. So when you I just say use your money wisely. Use your money wisely and use your time wisely. I don't care what it is, and people just think that that's okay. That's not okay, because you never know what you're buying. And stepping outside the relationship of a marriage and all that, it's not even worth it nowadays. That's why it's good to just get somebody and be with that person. Be with that person that you know everything about. And when it comes to feeling that desire of cheating, talk to your partner. Talk to your partner. Tell your partner where they slacking. 200,000 people in Houston. 200,000 people in Houston, has been affected with HIV. Do you know what that look like? Do you actually know what that look like? That look terrible because because it's a lot of careless people. Careless. When you careless, you don't give a damn about who you sleep with, as long as your little something down there feel good. You don't give a damn who you sleep with. If you know you're a person with a high sex drive and you like to do the oozy woozy, moosey woozy, whatever it is, you like to do that all the time. Strap up. They got jackets at the clinic. Go get tested. And if you can't wear them, if you say I can't wear them, I can't do something. Put some plastic wrap on it, something. I don't know. Just do something. Do something. But these ladies on here, like I've been watching this, and it's like I got on here to talk about this because I just watched one and it was basically a young lady. She was 18 years old. She's 18 years old and just gave her virginity to somebody and caught that. Gave her virginity to someone that she trusted, and now she got it. That and herpes. Oh Lord. She got that and herpes. Now what does that look like, man? Oh Jesus. I don't know. And if and I say this, if that person, y'all step outside the relationship, y'all over whatever, y'all stay with each other. Stay with the person. Stay with the person. Not just leave them in the cold and just be like, okay, well, bam, I'm just done. Be with them. Be with them. I don't care if you bought some. I don't care if you bought some whatever you bought. If you bought it, then be with that person. They gave it to you. Be with them. Be with them because I, it's this is ridiculous. But just be with the person. Be with the person. Just might as well just say I'm just gonna be with you for the rest of my life. You will never understand people or what they feel in the inside when they attract that. You will never feel unless you have attracted it. I feel like shit. Hey, why you go? Oh, see, this is a lot of stuff going on in this world today. A YN got turned out by his mom's husband. What the? Ooh, that's why it's good to look. I'm glad I'm in the house, and it's a good thing to just be in the house. Ain't nothing outside but mess, chaos, drama, drama. That's all it is. That's outside drama. But I'm just listening to this.
What if your dream was to build the fastest car ever? But then when you got older, this prison story is about when this man came home from prison and ended up his new girlfriend's son when she went on vacation. Ah, shit. Here we go again.
What's that?
So Calvin just got done playing basketball with his homies at the basketball court. So he ended up riding his bike home. It's about 7 p.m. at night. Now he noticed there's a truck in the driveway, an 88 Chevy truck, right? So he like, who the heck is this? So nevertheless, he get off his bike, put it on the side of the house, and he go to the front door and he get his key to unlock the front door. Now when he walk into his house, the living room is right there. And he see this big, black, ugly motherfucker sitting right there on the couch, right? So the dude look at him, was like, what's up, bro? So Calvin like, man, who is you? He like, my name Daryl. Well, you must be Sabrina's son. He was like, yeah, but who is you? So the mama with Sabrina come in the living room. She was like, hey, Calvin, this is my friend Daryl. And he's going to be staying with us for a while. So Calvin was like, okay, all right, I guess. Is this your boyfriend or something? She was like, no, he cut her off. Daryl cut her off. Was like, no, we just friends for right now, but hopefully it can turn into something a little later down the road. You know what I'm talking about? So dude get up. He like, let me not be rude. You know, this is her mama boy. This is the mama boyfriend. You know, the new dude in the house. So he's standing up. Daryl is about 6'3", maybe 280, 285, all muscle. So he stands up. He say, let me not be rude, man. What's up, man? My name is Daryl. So Calvin put his hand out and they, dap it up like that. So he was like, yeah, let me talk to you outside right quick. So Calvin like, all right. So Sabrina, which is Calvin mama, says, y'all play nice. Y'all be good. And they're like, man, I got this. Before we go on, let me give y'all the ages of the people right quick, okay? Sabrina, Calvin's mother, she's 38 years old. Calvin, 20 years old, okay? She had him when she was 18. This dude, Daryl, let me give you his backstory. He just got out of prison for doing 25 years for murder. It's some other shit, right? And he just got out the joint this morning. Now, the backstory between Sabrina and Daryl is that they've been pen paling. So she met him while he was in prison. She don't know this man at all. But he got out on parole, and now he's at her house. Now he's outside talking to her 20-year-old son.
Okay, so you hear that. You hear that, right? Don't know the man at all. Do you hear what he just said? Don't know the man at all. Just got out of prison. But she don't know the man at all. But you invite this man to come stay with you and your child. Listen to what I'm telling you. You come and invite this man into your house to stay with you and your child. Don't know this man, but you allow this man to come into your life. Just keep here, listen to the story, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because that's a big old problem that I have, where people allow how women allow men or women, women allow men to come and stay in their house, don't know nothing about them, but you just want a boyfriend. You don't know nothing about this man, but this man here is in your house, and you first go out of town, and you let this man stay with your child. Come on now.
So Daryl like, listen, man, check this out. I just got out of penitentiary, killing the nigga, right? I served my time. I did my thing.
So just think about that. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you another thing. So if the dude just got out, told the son that he just killed somebody, and the mama, so he raped I know I'm supposed to be saying something else, but I'm not a content creator. But he raped this woman's son. He raped this woman's son, right? So if he raped this woman's son, he already pumped fear into this little boy. He already pumped fear into this little boy, telling him that he just got out of jail out of prison for 25 years murdering somebody. Don't you think that a child would feel they would fear this person just because, yeah, anybody would fear somebody that just got out of prison for murder, and you telling him, oh, man, come on, y'all better get it together. Get it together. Get it together.
Into society, and I'm gonna be real with you. I really like your mama. We've been talking for the last 2 years. She been putting money on my books. She been answering my phone call. She been showing a nigga a lot of love, right? And I'm just letting you know I'm gonna do right behind your mama. I'm gonna make sure your mama's straight. Now I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know, back in the day, yeah, I was a killer. I was a drug dealer. I was a hard-headed nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I used to run with the Hoovers. Yeah, I used to run with the Hoovers back in the day. I remember we used to go up to Gonzalez Park and beat the guys up, and then they'll run off, and then we'll be with their girls. Yeah.
So any child that hears that, want that fear a child? Want that fear a child? I don't care if the boy 20 years old, he's still a child. Want that fear a child? That would fear a child. That would fear anybody. You sitting up there talking about some. I just got out of jail. I got out of prison for murder and this and that and this and that. That's why I say, ladies, some ladies need to watch who you socialize with, who you try to be in a relationship with, because everybody's not meant to be in a relationship. I don't care if sometimes you can say that you can give a person a second chance on things, but see where it goes first before you try to move somebody in your house. You got to know a person by their fruit. You don't know what the background is on this person, man.
I remember that. Yeah, that's when I was a killer. Yeah, that's when I was young and dumb. But I'm good now. Like I said, I done did my time, right? But what you out here doing in these streets? So Calvin, like, I mean, I go to school, I play basketball, and that's really it. He was like, yeah, I was asked you about something. So anyway, I noticed that you don't keep your room clean. A lot of dishes that be in the sink. When I came up in here, man, what's up with that? I mean, your moms go to work. You know, she hold down for it, and you ain't doing your half up in here. I was like, what's up with that? Real men don't do that type of shit. So Calvin, like, wait, hold on, man. What you mean? Well, you been in my room? No, I'm just saying, man. I mean, I had to make sure that I know, every room in this house
I
that
don't
I'm
know why
going to
that
be living
came
in,
over
right?
like
So
this.
I came to your room, and I seen that it wasn't clean. And matter of fact, you gonna have to take care of that, because I come from a place where you got to keep it clean, for real. So Calvin was like, hey, listen, no, hey, dog, I don't know you like that, and I don't like for you to invade my privacy like that. But yeah, I'm gonna holler at you later. So he walked past Durham, and Durham was like, all right, man, I'll holler at you later. So Calvin go into the house, and his mama in the kitchen making sandwiches. He's like, hey, man, who is this dude, and why was he in my room for? And he talking about the dishes ain't being washed, and he was in my room. Why would you let him go to my room? She was like, Calvin, listen, you're 20 years old. He's just like that. He's been locked up for 20. He's been locked up as long as you've been living. He has some type of structure and order in his life. And, he let me know, like, some things are going to change around here, how we living. Calvin, I'm like, what you mean things are going to change around here? She was like, Calvin, just listen. Listen, I'm getting older, and Daryl is a really good man. So, listen. He like, what? You don't even know this dude. This dude just got out of prison. How you gonna say he a good? Did you know he killed somebody? Did you know he was a gang member? did you know this stuff? She like, listen, Calvin, listen, I don't care. And then Dura walk in. He like, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, little Calvin, like I said, things is going to change around here. You 20 years old and you living off your mama. So the way I look at it, you do need some structure. I mean, where your daddy at? I noticed he ain't teaching. So Calvin like, yo, hey man, no, you did not just bring up my pops. So Sabrina stepped in like, hey, Daryl, that's enough. That's not right, man, for you to bring him up. What y'all don't know is Lil Calvin, I call him Lil Calvin, but Calvin, dad passed away 3 years. He lost the battle of cancer. He didn't die on street stuff. He didn't leave this earth on bad terms. He died in the hospital battling cancer. So when Daryl said this about Calvin's father, it lit a fire inside. He was like, nah, man, I ain't fucking with this. I ain't fucking with this dude. So little Calvin go to his room, right? The mama and Daryl is in the living room having a light argument, right? So little Cal say, man, forget it, man. I'm finna go take a shower. So he get his shower things together and he goes to the shower. Cut the water on, it's running, take his clothes off, he jumps in the shower. Now he was in there for maybe about, I don't know, 5 minutes. And then he hear the door open. So naturally he think it's his mama, coming there to grab some tissue or grabbing something off the sink. But then the door closes. You know when you feel somebody's... Have you ever been in a shower, right? And you got one of them dark shower curtains, but you know somebody's on the other side of there? That's what he felt. So he said, hey, Ma, that's you? No answer. So he like, Ma, is that you? You in here? And Daryl answered. He said, no, it's me. So Cal, he's sitting there in the shower like, what the He like, can I help you? He like, no, man, I'm taking a shit. So Cal like, wait a minute. So he opened the shower a little bit and peeked his head out. And Daryl is sitting on the toilet with his pants down. Right? Doing the number 2. Right? Next to where little Cal is in the shower. So Cal like, man, what the f is you doing? Dog, what is you doing?
I don't like nobody to do that when I'm in the bathroom.
What's wrong with that? He
I'm in the shower.
What's wrong with that, man? I'm in the shower. Why are you in here using the bathroom while I'm in here taking a shower? Man, that ain't cool, man. What you doing? So Daryl like, man, get out of here, dude. Man, I ain't tripping, man. I'm using the bathroom. We men. Ain't you a man? Ain't you a man? He like, man, dog, man, and you stink, man. So Daryl like, yeah, man, feel it, man, smell all that. Smell it. Inhale it, nigga. Inhale it, smell good, don't it? So then he get up, wipe his ass, and flush the toilet. He walks out the bathroom. He didn't even wash his damn hands. How little Cal know that? Because when you in the shower and somebody cut on the water and the temperature go cold, he didn't even wash his hands. In fact, Daryl was so disrespectful, the nigga didn't even close the door. You know how the door, how you know that the door wasn't closed? Because you feel that draft, that breeze coming in. So not only, let's peep the scene. So he came in there knowing that Calvin was in the shower, took a number 2, right? Didn't wash his hands and left the door wide open. So Cal like, man, I can't believe this dude. Why would this nigga do that? Man, F this. So he cut the water off. He peeked his head out of the shower, right? His towel right there on the sink. So he up and grab it. He dry off in the shower, put the towel around him. He get out and he go to his bedroom.
Limu Limo at your service. Here to help you save hundreds by customizing your car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Probably should have gone the other way. Only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Put the towel around him. He get out. He go to his bedroom. Now he's sitting on the bed and he just sitting there like, man, this can't be happening. Ain't no motherfucking way this is actually happening. But before we go on, y'all, I know y'all notice right here what I got playing in the background. That's Stacy's story time. If you think that my stories are good, hey, my stories ain't got nothing on this chick. I'm going to have the link to her YouTube channel pinned at the top of the comment section. So y'all make sure y'all go over there and go check her out. But let's get back to it because I know y'all noticed that in the background. But anyway, so he's sitting there. He like, nah, man, F that. No, that nigga got to go. He got to go. So he ended up putting on his deodorant, right? Put on his T-shirt, and put on some hoop shorts. And he walked out the door. Now, dude is sitting at the kitchen table, right, with his mama. And he's eating a sandwich. You know, mama was in there making turkey sandwiches. So he come in there, he sit down, right? Now, this is the real messed up part, y'all. Forgive me for laughing, but this is real fucked up what Daryl did. So there's 5 sandwiches that's not touched. It's right here. It's kind of to the left of Daryl or whatever, but Daryl eating a sandwich and his mama eating a sandwich, right? So Calvin sits down on the other side of his mama. And as Calvin is reaching to grab a sandwich like this, Daryl sneezes. He goes, achoo. When he sneezes, it goes right towards the sandwiches. The 5 sandwiches that's right here on the table. He sneezes right here on the sandwiches. So Cal like, man, why the fuck did you do that, man? You did that on purpose, bro. Why would you do that, man? He was like, hold on. And he do it again. So Sabrina is like, yo, Calvin, chill out, man. You could have just told him.
Oh, I seen this one.
Okay, hey everybody. So,
I seen this one.
some of y'all wanted to know how that I contracted the HIV virus, right? So I'm here to tell my story. But before I tell my story, y'all, because I've been getting like some weird people in my comments, and I'm just about to tell y'all right here, right now, baby, if you don't like what I'm saying, Houston is a sick place that's full of maniacs. Okay, so yesterday I came to Houston. Mind you, I live in Dallas to spend time with my family for Easter. Me and my cousin I went out because it's like my birthday month. On top of this, being my baby dad's birthday month, he's no longer here, so I celebrate all month. Anyways, we went out yesterday to this place in Houston called Faces. The Irony. So, I'm standing there minding my business, and this man comes up to me and whispers in my ear and say, "Little mama, go ahead and go in the bathroom and take your shorts off." And I'm like, because I got on all white, so I'm like, do I got some in my pants? But why would he tell me to go take them off in the bathroom? So I'm just being oblivious because I know I ain't just here without. I know he's not insinuating what I think he is. So he was like, yeah, just play it off. Tell them you got to use the bathroom and my girl going to come behind you. And I guess she was supposed to be munching me. So at first I was going to be smart with him, but y'all are obviously maniacs and y'all are obviously crazy to come up to a random person and tell them to go and do that and put your mouth on a random person.
If you got hit, even as a passenger or in an Uber, you would need to try this.
Come up to a random person and tell them to go and do that and put your mouth on a random person's breath. So I was about to get smart with dude, but I'm like, let me just calm down because I don't want to get punched in the back of my bald ass head. So,
yeah, y'all gotta. I think that the best course of action a lot of times is just to walk away or to be cordial, because most people are crazy nowadays, and you can't find yourself in a difficult situation. But I will also say that it's a lot of overly freaked out people that is out in these streets. You cannot find yourself in the wrong space at the wrong time. You don't even want to get caught around people with this type of spirit, because the energy could be negative. I don't even hug people no more. I don't even handshake as much as I used to anymore. I'm just giving dap, because people are filthy, they are nasty, and I just think that people are just overly freaked out nowadays. They find themselves in a negative space. I think that most people are overly promiscuous, and I've heard some of the worst stories of all time just being on these panels, being in these environments. And I think that the higher up you go in certain cities, certain environments, they just expect for you to just be like them. Houston, one of them. Atlanta is one of them. San Francisco was one of them. And she says she's from Dallas. Dallas is pretty liberal also.
I'm like, listen, I appreciate the offer, but I'm okay. And he like, well, if you're okay, then I'm okay. I didn't even look back because he looked atrocious. So I know the girl was looking. So me and my cousin and my friend, we headed out. Didn't even look back, nothing. We just left and went to the next spot. Moral of the story, Houston, and this is why your HIV rate is one of the highest and y'all got all these damn diseases, because stuff like that. That's disgusting. And to come and play with me and say that to me out of all these people that's in this bar right now, who do you take me as? Well, it got to be the haircut. It has to be, because they've been tripping ever since I got this haircut. If you're in Houston and you go to Faces, I would recommend you not go by yourself, because it's obviously some crazy maniacs in there. That's very hungry.
Yeah, I was hearing a story the other day about a guy or a girl that was basically saying that a guy, one of his pitches, once they started talking, or he was talking to her on the phone or something like that, then the first day he was talking about eating the groceries. And I'm like, what? This is what y'all leading with? Like, it used to be a thing where people used to be scared to even go up to people. There's a segment of guys that's still afraid to approach women. And on the first day, y'all talking about eating groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I say this in most of the videos that we start having this conversation about how there's a reluctance of women to force guys to use some form of protection when they then start to get into a physical relationship. A lot of people don't know each other's status. Now, by default, there's a lot of people that's just taking PrEP. It's just getting more and more dangerous. I would say that it's not even safe for y'all, when y'all get married to a person, to not at some point, you know what I'm saying, check each other's statuses. And obviously by that time it's too late, because very, very, very few people are waiting to have sex, you know what I'm saying, before they or after they get married. And so that's out of the window. And so ain't nobody getting tested, ain't nobody getting a full panel. Then even if you do, it doesn't mean that they're not still out there being promiscuous and swapping fluids with different people. So unless you get tested every single time that you bust it down for a real one, you still not safe. Ain't that crazy? Because think about it. You can go and get with a person and have sex with them. And let's say, for example, y'all share my charts, or let's say y'all didn't, but neither one of y'all have anything at the same time. But it's not like y'all still are exclusive to each other, because in my opinion, you're not, you know what I'm saying, off the market until you're married. You're still single until you're married. And so when you think about it from that lens, and then you factor in the idea that they still probably got other people that they dealing with, or you can't restrict them from doing it. They still at some point can go and get something and then bring it back to you. And then you also got the gay community, and you got a lot of people that's really on the low, and they still messing with both. It don't mean that they don't deal with women. It don't mean that they're not projecting with women. It don't mean that they may not even like women, but they still got some crazy stuff going on in the background, and it's just wild. It's wild. It's nasty. It's demonic, in my opinion. It's not sanitary. And you got people that's basically passing it from person to person, and ain't nobody valuing each other because they acting like they can respawn or they can fix it because they seem like Magic Johnson living his life like a regular person. And so people just doing what they want to do when they want to do it with whoever it is that they're doing it with. And now you see all of these cities where people that don't have no D discipline. That's my biggest thing that I advocate for, is to have D discipline. You able to control your D, you able to overcome anything, and you able to run up a bag because you got more focus. You're more focused, you're more disciplined. You're not easily finessed or easily manipulated into doing something that other people would normally do. And so just be safe out here. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Be very, very careful who you kick it with. Be careful. Be safe and rock out. You know what I'm saying? Get your bag, get your money, focus on you, and be careful who you open up your legs to, ladies, and who you stick your Johnson in, fellas. Always like to link back to the content creator. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life.
And that's and the reason that I'm playing these videos is because sometimes I can say it like crazy or make it sound crazy, but I want to get y'all guys to understand a different perspective on different things. And like a lot of people probably say it the way that they say it, and I'm gonna say it the way that I say it, but it's the same exact thing that I said. Watch who you lay down with. Watch who you. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you the real. The real is the real. Where the board did I don't even know what's them. But we're gonna get some more. We're gonna do some more. And that ain't on Section 8 tenants. I don't want to do that. Oh, and that's another one. Where this man, like I think that's it. Where this lady, she was, y'all need to catch up on your news.
The number one priority is
So
locating Miss Scott.
I don't know if this is the one or whatever what I was watching, but this man, he was stalking this woman or whatever. She met him in 2020 or 2019, whatever she met him. And so he was stalking her. He came in her gate and everything. And so she told him to call the police. So the police didn't come on time or whatever. Didn't come on time or didn't even show up at all. Right? I don't know which one it was. I don't forgot. I don't watch it. And so after the end, I don't know if the police didn't show up or whatever happened. But I don't know if this is the story. But if this is the story, the lady, whoever the guy was, I guess he kidnapped her or yeah, basically kidnapped her and took her somewhere, wherever he took her. But she dead now. So that's why I say, like, when people like I think I need to be a officer because I'm gonna be on time on the calls. And a lot of people think that it's a lot of it's a joking matter. And when people come up missing because they ex-boyfriend stalking them, but why you want to stalk? I don't understand why you want to stalk somebody. If a person don't want you, they don't want you. let the person go by their business. But let's
I want
listen.
to make that very clear.
A heartbreaking update in the case of a young woman who had been missing for nearly 2 weeks.
It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved daughter, Kata Scott.
We'll tell you how authorities were led to
think
the
that is
gruesome
her.
discovery, plus the creepy details we're learning about the suspect accused of stalking her.
Oh, he look creepy. Yeah, that's it.
This is Inside the Crime, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner. 23-year-old Kata Scott was last seen on October 4th. Police spent weeks searching for her, and then they got a tip. Go back. She's there. Look again. It was an update no one wished to hear.
Obviously, initially, we received a tip to go to a meeting last week. We received a tip to go to the Ada Lewis Middle School. Investigators went, did a thorough search. Essentially, what the new tip was this weekend was go back. It was go back. She's there. Look again. And they did give more specific details in terms of where to look.
Just 2 weeks ago, Philadelphia police were searching everywhere for a sign of Kata Scott.
We've been investigating that since that time, really trying to do everything we can to figure out where she might have went. Like, her car was found at the location. No one has received a call from her. We know her phone is not in operation anymore. So a lot of what we're doing is following the evidence that we have, witnesses that gave us information. Some of that evidence has led us to this area. We've looked in other areas too. This particular area, the Aubrey Arboretum, it's a very large area. It's all wooded area mostly. There's a lot of fences and activity going on in there. So it wasn't very easy to search with just a few detectives. So we enlisted the help of our academy classes. They're here. They were given specific instructions by our crime scene investigation people, and we're just looking in the area. To this point, nothing has been found that's related to the investigation. We found some clothing items, which we have no idea if they're related to this or not, but they were taken just to look into. But at this point, we're just doing everything we can. We try to do that on missing person investigations. We do everything we can to make sure we run down every lead. This particular case led us to this area. It's a very large area, and we had to do what we had to do. It's not the first time we've done this. I've been in the department over 35 years. I've worked in the detective bureau a long time. We've done this in missing persons in the past, where we enlisted the help of the academy.
Frank, how concerned are you about, she's been gone almost a week now, no cell phone, no bank, no any trace, right?
Yeah, 23-year-old who, is a social media person, as we hear. She disappeared off social media, so it's concerning. Any young people today, they can't live without having a phone in their hand. So that's a concern. You left her car behind. It's certainly something that's not usual of somebody who's missing voluntarily.
On October 4th, the 23-year-old had just finished her shift at an assisted living facility, but she never made it home. Detectives noticed her car still in the parking lot, but inside the vehicle, though, none of her personal items were there. No cell phone, no iPad, no keys, none of that. Her coworkers didn't notice any strange behavior, but her family told investigators she was getting harassing messages. A week into the search led investigators to the Aubrey Arboretum, where her phone was last pinged. Officers in their canine unit scoured through the property. Still no sign of her, though. A couple days later, the FBI joined the investigation. So did the Philadelphia Homicide Unit, even though they were still treating the case as a missing persons. The first break in the case came on October 15th, when 21-year-old Keon King was arrested and charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, and stalking. Investigators have previously said they believe he was the last person to see Kata the night she went missing, but officials noted he had a suspicious past. There's a reason Law and Crime is the go-to spot for all legal and true crime content on YouTube. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest personal injury law firm. They're a firm with more than 1,000 attorneys, and that's because they win a lot. They've recovered over $25 billion from more than 500,000 clients. In the past few months, a client in Florida received $12 million after the insurance company offered just $350,000. In Pennsylvania, a client was awarded $26 million, 40 times the insurer's $650,000 offer. Another client in Pennsylvania received $29 million after being offered only $500,000. Even if you think your case isn't worth millions, why not start a claim and fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan makes it so easy you can start a claim from your phone in just 8 clicks. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/insidethecrime by clicking the link below or scanning the QR code on your screen.
So it's very important that this individual who does have prior history of being arrested, especially for this very same thing, this year was charged with kidnapping another female acquaintance. That case was
533. I'm on 533. I need this one. It's not up.
I've been missing.
From court, and I'll explain it. It's going to be refiled now as we're going to move forward to attempt. So he's being really charged with 2 cases today of kidnapping. And that case, it involves assaults that occurred during the kidnapping. So this is a pattern of behavior.
Video quickly circulated of Keon's alleged past. This video posted to TikTok reportedly shows Keon peeping through the window of another woman's home.
Go away. Don't come over here. Gary, call the cops. Call the... It's all these kids in here. Call the cops. He coming around the window. Go that way, Cameron. Yeah, go away, bye. Go away, bye. Yep, bye. Bye. Keon out here.
Under the video, the user wrote, "I'm glad you're in jail now. Can't hurt anybody else. This is him. One of the many times he tried to break in my house. Hope they throw him under for everything he's ever done. #KeonKing." 5 days after that video circulated on social media, officials confirmed they found human remains.
It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved daughter, Kata Scott. We kindly ask for space and privacy at this time as we process the heartbreaking events of the past few weeks. Our hearts are shattered, yet we are deeply grateful for the outpouring of love, support, and prayers from people across the nation and around the world.
Investigators made the heartbreaking discovery after getting a very specific but anonymous tip.
As of last night, our office approved charges, as the DA just said, of arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automobile, tampering with evidence, recklessly endangering another person, and receipt of stolen property. Those charges are in reference to the burning of a vehicle. That vehicle is a 2008 black Hyundai Accent. That vehicle first entered our radar last week. Investigators received a tip that there was a vehicle burning and that vehicle had some connection to this case. At the time last week, when investigators went to the location where the vehicle was burned, that vehicle was no longer there. It had already been towed, compacted, and was at a junkyard. This weekend, we recovered additional evidence, including video evidence that confirms that this vehicle, we believe, is the vehicle that Mr. Keon King used to move Ms. Scott. We recovered video out from near the Ada Lewis Middle School, where our search and the investigator search has been focused. There's a rec center directly next to that school. Video evidence was recovered from that rec center, and we are now able to say that this Hyundai Accent was on location at all of the times we're looking at all of the pertinent points in the investigation. That vehicle was stolen on October 3rd from the area of 6600 Sprague Street. We believe that vehicle is the vehicle that was used in this case. That vehicle was then on scene at that rec center, which ultimately, as we all know, is where we found Ms. Scott's human remains. Video evidence indicates it was on location. Video evidence then indicates it leaves the location. It is burned on October 7th. It was located at the 2300 block of 74th Avenue. When this new video evidence was uncovered this weekend, Investigators from the homicide unit cross-referenced all of this information with the cell phone evidence that we had already gained and we had already been using in terms of the kidnapping case and other charges. What I can share is that the cell phone evidence, the call detail records, and timing advance data as it pertains to Keon King's mobile device puts him at all of the locations that we're talking about. It's on scene when the Hyundai Accent is there at the recreation center. It is on scene when the vehicle is burned. Based on that, last night I approved those charges. And as the DA said, we should have more information in terms of bail and a preliminary hearing date, hopefully this afternoon or certainly by tomorrow.
So in addition to stalking, kidnapping, and false imprisonment, Keon King is also charged with arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, tampering with evidence, plus more. But as you just heard, he's not charged with Kata's murder yet.
Please understand, this is an ever-evolving, developing situation, both in terms of investigation and prosecution. There are things that we know today that we cannot tell you. And we cannot tell you for a variety of reasons. The integrity of the investigation, safety, the trauma that the family is dealing with is not best handled by their finding things out for the first time in the media. I have reason to believe that there will be additional charges that will be coming. Exactly when is unclear. And it may be two different groups of additional charges. But yes, we expect there to be new charges.
What happens next? And could we see that charge upgraded anytime soon with all the evidence that's out there? I'm joined now by criminal defense Safa Robinson Ferrer. Safa, always great to see you. I have a really heartbreaking update. Really holding on to hope that she would be found safe, but this update is devastating. I mean, her body was found in a shallow grave near a wooded area of a middle school. What's your reaction?
Completely devastating, and this echoes so many things that we're seeing across the country, similar to this case where we have young women who are being kidnapped and all found in locations, and some of these things stem from incidents where, the young woman was maybe going to work, or going to have some sort of other obligation, and for some reason they either meet up with someone or someone just ultimately victimizes them, murders them.
You have to be
and their remains are found.
And I know
you have to be a sicko. You have to be a sicko to kidnapping. Kidnapping is a crime. It's a crime. And that girl didn't want to be dude. If she didn't want to be with him, y'all gotta wake up and smell the coffee beans. If people don't want to be with you in this world, it's a crime. And you go down for a long time for kidnapping. You understand that? You go to jail for a long time for kidnapping. A long time. I don't know how long ago now. Let me see. I'm supposed to do some research on that. How long? Let me see. Yeah. Oh. That's still a long time. But then, hold on. I'm supposed to put this over here. Where I put it? Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh. So kidnapping charges are serious criminal charges that typically involve unlawfully taking, holding, or transporting another person against their will. The legal definition can varies depending on the state or country. But here are some common key elements that usually applies. Taking or restraining someone without their consent, holding or moving them from one place to another, using force, threats, deception, and intimidation, involving a minor, especially without a parent or guardian permission, simply kidnapping, hold on, aggressive kidnapping. More serious may involve demanding ransom or money, intending to harm or assault the victim, using a deadly weapon, kidnapping a child, human trafficking or sexual intent, felony charges, often with 10 years of life in prison to life in prison, depending on the location, or if it's federal charges may apply if the victim is taken across the state lines. Possible fines, probation, restraining orders, and lifetime criminal record. That's when you got to get on that list. That's what that means. Consent. Proving the person unwillingly went. Okay, so that's just if you do, but don't do that. But for real, that I don't even know how these people are. Oh, they told me, but I wasn't listening.
Initially
I was doing
searched
something.
that area just days ago, but I'm super curious about the tip. Someone telling officials to go back specifically to that middle school, which makes me think that if Keon King is behind this, that he either told someone she was there or that he had help. But what do you think?
Absolutely. It's really either A, he told someone, and based on the information that he told this individual, he incriminated himself and informed that individual of where her remains could be located. A lot of times when you see cases like this, a person may have, just a lot of sympathy or some sort of guilty conscience, and so they ultimately contact law enforcement so that law enforcement can continue their investigation into finding where the remains are, and it sounds like that was the case here. Or to the alternative, there was somebody else that was involved, and again, with regard to their maybe sympathy, public outcry, and other things of that nature, that guilt for them causes them to disclose their involvement to law enforcement. Or it could just be some member of the public who just may have gleaned some sort of info somewhere, and maybe as a parent or as just a member of the community, they felt the need to share this information with law enforcement.
And then during the press conference on Monday, officials said that there's a lot we don't know and there's a lot that they're not going to tell us publicly. But why do you think, with all this evidence seemingly pointing to 21-year-old Keon King as being responsible for Kata's death, why wait to file homicide or murder charges?
I think
That's
and kind of to our last question, I think there's a good likelihood that there was someone else involved. Based on that individual's involvement, law enforcement, of course, doesn't want to disclose that as of yet. If they are planning to charge that person, they may not want that person to flee. Maybe they're looking for.
It got to be somebody else.
That
Listen,
person may have access to.
I'm gonna tell you, it got to be somebody else involved in that too. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I was the young lady, say for instance, if I was the young lady, man, if you see, well, the video is playing on my phone, so if you see how the I don't even know the young lady probably, but if he had a gun, then yeah, of course she's gonna go with him. But if he didn't have no gun and I was the young lady, I would have whooped his. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, I would have whooped his. But if he had a gun, then yeah, he gonna go. But if he didn't have a gun, then somebody else got to be involved in the situation, in this whole story.
And they
You
want to just
understand?
ensure the integrity of their case and of the prosecution to make sure that they are apprehending the appropriate individuals involved and that the evidence is preserved in an appropriate manner as to ensure the integrity and ultimately what the government and the prosecution would hope is a conviction at trial.
So when you think about oh, let me just let the video go. So when you think about that, I want you to think. I want you to think today, right? Just put your thinking cap on.
And just
So
surrounding this case,
and it's crazy, and you don't know the person that whoever he is, whatever his name is, I don't even know his name. Well, whoever the boy is. So think about this. I don't know what mind state he was in, but whatever mind state he was in, you got to think about if he was in a good person and all this stuff. Both parties are losing. His family losing, his family losing, and his family losing, and the victim family is losing. You understand what I'm saying? Like people got to understand. They got to think about situations where what you put yourself into. Yeah, I think it's just crazy. But a lot of people understand it, but I would never understand that. I would never understand it. I would never understand it. That's something that you can. That's something that you would never be able to understand. Like where people's state of mind at. If you got to show that you love somebody by taking them or even kidnapping, and just being real about kidnapping. Kidnapping is your state of mind have to be off. Your state of mind had to be very, very off. Want to know why your state of mind had to be very, very off? Is because how can you not see yourself finding somebody, the love of your life, of something like that? You don't have to. I feel you don't have to go out and go take somebody off their wheel or take somebody over here and go do this to this person because you can't get none. I tell people all the time, don't go pay for none. But if you can't get none, go pay for some. That's just being real. Go pay for some. Somebody gonna give you something. Cause that's the only thing that I have. I feel like how people kidnap people because they have a desire in their head that they want to fulfill. And if they want to fulfill that desire and that you feel like you can't go get none or nobody wants you this and that, go buy some. Go buy some. When you're paying for something like that, people don't care about what you look like. Woo! This world is stupid. It's stupid. If you have a low self-esteem, if your self-esteem is that low and you feel like you can't get nothing in this world and you have to go either kidnap somebody, go do this, and if somebody don't want you, let it be. Go buy some. That's the real as I can be. Go buy some. Cause that's just crazy. People buy stuff all the time. Go buy it. You don't have to take nobody off to just fulfill your fantasy. But some people I guess some people just like that. I don't know. That shit just stupid. That's what I feel. Okay. And that's for real. Why do you want to just go take it? I just taking it. I I like for a person to I like for a person to enjoy the things that we have. Enjoy the things that we have. I don't need you to say no to me. I don't need you to say no. I don't need you to do this. If you say no, that's no. Bye. Bye. See you later. Ain't no. That's some weird, wicked stuff. If you say no, it's a no, a straight up no.
I woke up this morning, y'all, feeling kind of lonely. Just feeling kind of bad. Knowing that don't. You know, you really have a mental.
That's stupid. People are stupid. Yeah, I said it. Some people are so stupid. If I feel like I couldn't get nobody in this world, I don't need to take nobody stuff. Take somebody's stuff. What? What you gotta take it for? That's a pretty background. I like that one. What's my name? But let's finish this.
Overall, there's been, in my opinion, I feel like there's kind of this understandable frustration with the court system when it comes specifically to this case. I mean, Keon King, he was accused of kidnapping another woman earlier this year. Those charges were dropped after the victim and another witness didn't show up to court. Now, in light of Kayda's disappearance, now murder, those charges are refiled again. But I can see why people are upset because it's easy to connect the dots and say, had he been in jail, Kayda would still be alive. But what do you think? Do you think that the ball was dropped here?
These cases are extremely difficult, and I wouldn't go as far to say that the ball was dropped. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when an individual is arrested and they're charged with an assault or kidnapping or something of that nature, the victim or the complaining,
if he
as we call it, in those cases,
that's the court system fault. To me, that's the court system. She talking about things that don't be jumped. Yeah, that's the court system fault. You let him out. If he did it before, that's the court system fault.
Cooperated not to testify at a trial, then there's a high likelihood that those charges will get dismissed. And there's a lot of reasons why individuals may not want to testify or come forward because, they may be embarrassed, they may be afraid, they may think that no one will believe them. But essentially, their cooperation is required. And if not, you see instances just like this one where charges aren't pursued and then the defendant or the alleged suspect is left out in public and will potentially or possibly victimize someone else.
And I know a lot of people were kind of in fear of that in light of Kayda's disappearance at first, and now that we know her remains are found. But there was this video that circulated on social media just days ago of what appears to be Keon King kind of peeping through the window of another woman's home. She's kind of yelling, call the cops. Like she seemed, you could hear her visible, like kind of her being scared at this moment. But investigators also noted that he kind of has this pattern of...
So I'm not understanding. So he was peeping through somebody's home. They confused me. So I thought the one that he was peeping through the home is the girl that was missing. They confused me. Unless I'm not listening.
From the point of being accused of kidnapping in the first case to what happened to Kayda Scott, there seems to be this escalation. But what are your thoughts on his, alleged past behavior?
It is very odd behavior, but nonetheless, these things unfortunately do happen. And this is why there's the importance of, with victims and individuals who have been victimized, to continue forward in their prosecutions of these cases. For him to be allegedly peering into a window into a woman's home, having other allegations of kidnapping and things of that nature, it's no surprise that things have escalated here, and it now alleged that he committed this homicide against this young woman.
But again, we look at how could these things have been stopped or prevented before. Had he been taken into custody or prosecuted, then he may not be in a position to be out in the public. Not only that, but if there's something going on here rooted in a mental health nature, giving him the appropriate treatment so that he can ultimately rehabilitate himself mentally so that he does not go on to reoffend and things of that nature.
And as a criminal defense attorney, and I know you've worked both sides, but as a criminal defense attorney, how do you defend a client like this? I mean, he's young, yes, but he has this documented history, and I assume that will possibly be used against him in court, but what do you think?
So the most important thing is going to be to prevent that documented history from coming in at a trial. And typically the prosecution is not allowed to use that. Generally speaking, they may make certain applications prior to the seating of a jury at a trial to use those things should the defendant testify. But we ensure that those things are kept out of the trial because you don't want the jury to have the information and think, well, because he did this before, he has a propensity to do it again, and we're going to convict him based off of those things. So that's not what we want here. What we want is a situation that is based on the facts. So we're going to attack that for sure. I think that they picked his cell phone to the area, so it may not be a matter of, it wasn't me, it was somebody else, or maybe there was somebody else involved. And my participation was at the direction of this person. There's so many moving parts, and because we don't have the full story as of yet, it's difficult to say. And there's always either A, I didn't do it, or B, yes, I did do it, but this was the reason. And depending on what the reasoning could have been, could ultimately mitigate some of the facts that come out at trial. It's going to be left up for the jury to decide, and the government's got to ensure that they meet each element of each offense beyond a reasonable doubt, and that they bring enough proof to prove those things. And as the defendant, or as on the defense side, we attack those things. You can't prove A, can't prove B. You might have proved C, but you can't prove D. So there's a lot of moving parts to cases like this and how we might defend those cases.
And with what we know now, because I know there's still a lot of unknown, do you think that this was premeditated? Because I go back to just the fact that Keita was found in this shallow grave. That means that the grave was dug in the first place. But I'm also thinking, okay, how did we get to that point where a person had enough time to do that? I'm wondering, was that their plan all along?
It's very possible, and a lot of times you see in these cases, particularly when individuals are maybe in their teens or early 20s, where they've had this relationship maybe with another person, and maybe there's a love triangle that causes
and it's young people.
Or maybe someone is pregnant, and because there's an unwanted pregnancy, the other party may think that the only thing that they can do is kill this person so that birth doesn't happen. It's very odd in the way that people sometimes think about these things. But that certainly could be the case here, that they knew each other. And so it'll be interesting to see what the nature of the relationship
And people think they get away. What goes on in the dark will come to the light. You don't get away from stuff like that. You don't get away. People think they can get away with that stuff. You don't get away.
But all of those things are a possibility.
You don't get away with that.
I know prosecutors say that they're still investigating how the two knew each other and came
because it's always something. It's always something that's gonna bring you back to that person. So keep your head up and stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's gonna always be something that comes back to you when you do stuff like that. It's gonna come back to you, baby. So people think they get away with stuff. They don't get away. They just get by for a minute. And guess what? Reality catch your butt. Show do. A body found in a search. A body found in search for Miss USA. Oh, that's the same lady.
Credit Karma gives you the tools to unlock a whole new level of financial fitness so you can build your credit scores. Better scores can lead to lower rates on everything from credit cards and loans to insurance premiums. And lower rates mean extra cash in your pocket. Harness the power of Credit Karma today to win your financial
Video, one video to auto. Yes. I gotta find the person. This one. This one. And I'm gonna let me go to. It's got all my stuff on. No. And they still talking about this Diddy stuff. Like, yeah, man. Oh, this was sad right here. This right here was sad. Okay, I found him. This story right here.
Okay, story time, and I'm doing it this way because I just don't feel like turning my phone sideways. It's gonna be real sped up. I'm gonna answer a couple questions because a lot of y'all want to know my whole AIDS story situation. So, when I was 18, I moved to LA, and I was homeless for a good period. I was staying with stranger dangers. For a little while, I was cleaning up for them, taking care of their pets. I remember I stayed with someone who had like 4 dogs and a parrot. that was cool though, because I like that but the parrot kept saying off the wall stuff like suicide and stuff, and like just off the wall stuff that I'm like, why does this bird know these words? Anyway, so I ended up staying in a homeless shelter after a while, and I ended up getting a job and being able to pay for a room to rent. Of course, New York.
What is this?
Prices.
Oh.
And along the lines of, me being homeless before most of this, like me getting a room, I was taken advantage of a couple times. And, like I said, it's not something I'm happy about talking about, but it happened. And, mind you, because at these times I was staying on the train for like the whole train ride, sleeping with a luggage.
Oh, no, go back.
Like in the station.
I don't want the music.
And I just had some bad experiences. People took advantage of me knowing that I didn't have anything and nowhere to go. So yeah, I was taken advantage of a good 3 times, drugged, etc. So, and I do not know these people's names or their whereabouts. So I have to point that out because people are like, well, do you know who? All this stuff. Don't know. Okay, speed up. Got me a little job at a recording studio, meeting people, just getting that little ability and that little experience, getting an assistant, etc. So that I could get like free time in the booth, cool stuff like that. Made friends with everybody. And I'm building my Instagram. My followers are getting up there. I'm getting my modeling jobs, etc. Help me pay the bills. I get an investor. I get a new apartment. And so while all this is going on, I'm going out with my friends. I go to a club. I have to bring this up because you guys ask me about this all the time, YouTube rumors. So as far as Instagram goes, I had gotten followed by Nick Cannon, right? Okay. And friendly, right? Just friendly. We followed each other back. It was cool. Anyway, I see him at a club that I went to with one of my friends, and just cool vibes. I see him, and I was like, oh my god, mind you, I'm already kind of drunk, whatever. And I'm like, oh hey, what's up? Like, you follow me? And he's like, oh, I already know. Yeah, I know who you are. I know you. And I'm like, oh shoot. He's like, I'm gonna drunk as soon as I leave. I'm like, cool. Not thinking nothing of it, Because I know him as a dude on Wildin' Out, right? Cool. So he hits me up and he's like, hey, you want to come get a drink at so and so, right? And mind you, this spot is in a hotel, guys. It's in a hotel that's key point to this, okay? So I go in, and right when you go in there, it's like a bar set up. It's real fancy, and we sit on the side. I order a drink. He doesn't. I don't think he drinks. He told me he didn't drink. I don't know if he drinks now, but he did not drink. So I'm sitting there nervous as hell because I'm like, whoa, like this is so random for me. He FaceTimed my mom, said hey to my mom, and I'm thinking maybe he's hitting me up because of something while I'm out. I don't know. I got my whole brain open to this whole television situation, and I'm young. But that was it, guys. That was it. It was cool, chill vibes. I went home. That was that. But before I left, because I forgot this part, but before I left that bar, hotel, whatever, he told me I should leave before him because paparazzi had pulled up. Okay? Because, that was during the time he was having issues with, I guess, Mariah. And I was like, oh, okay. So his bouncer dude went out, got me a taxi. And that's what you see in the video is me walking out. They take pictures of me just in case, I guess. And I get in the car. And I'm over here like, oh, snap. I ain't never had that happen to me before. That was cool. And then he comes out and they attach it and they put it online. Okay? But I posted it because I was like, man, I ain't never been paparazzi before. And that was cool. That was a cool time in my life. That was awesome. Memories. Right? But y'all took it out of context. Which is crazy to me. I thought it was funny. With all that being said, I really need y'all to go ahead and cut him out the scenario because I'm trying to think I'll be pregnant by now. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be a rude person. I'm just playing, y'all. But I do want y'all to go ahead and take him out the picture because that's just a whole no. Okay? No. Fast forward, me being in LA, got a new manager. All this stuff goes down. Anyway, I'm working at Buca de Beppo, being a hostess with the mostest at the Grove. And, that's where I'm at in life. So basically, just a whole fast forward. One day, during this time, I'm starting to have all these extreme bowel issues. I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on with my booty, but I can't poop. When I do try to poop, I'm screaming. I'm thinking, oh man, maybe I got like a hemorrhoid. I'm being real. I thought I had like some hemorrhoids or something, but I didn't have those. I have nothing like that. It got to the point where I'm like going to doctors. I'm paying out of pocket because I didn't have no insurance in LA. And mind you, I already didn't have that kind of money just to be spending on that stuff. But I really, really needed to figure it out because it was scaring me. I was like, man, do I got like anal cancer or something? Like, what is going on? Like, it was so bad. But in the midst of all this happening, this is something I've never mentioned on anything because it just like came back to me when I was visiting my best friend. She reminded me of something. And she told me about a time where I thought I had an allergic reaction. I had hives all over my face. My whole entire body was covered in hives. I freaked out. I was like, man, I'm itching. I'm so itchy. Like, I was freaking out. I'm like, man, I think I got the wrong makeup. But then I'm like, but this is on my legs. Like, what's going on? I went to the doctor. He told me I was having an allergic reaction. So he gave me a shot in my butt. And I was like, dang, okay. Well, I hope this goes away. And mind you, I was seeing someone at that time. I was seeing someone, and we've been seeing each other. I wasn't bouncing around being frisky with a whole lot of people. I wasn't. I was specifically seeing somebody. And it went away. I brushed it off, and I was like, okay, it was just some allergy. I threw away my makeup and stuff, and I just assumed maybe the allergy affected my face and just decided to go across my body. Probably dumb for me, not the smartest cookie in the box. Okay, but a lot of you said I didn't get tested for 10 years. That I want to address as well. I was getting STD checks. I did not know that when I was getting STD checks, it didn't include the HIV/AIDS test. I thought it was all included, and I honestly think that because I went in and I said, hey, I want an STD check, and I was stern on what I wanted. That's what I wanted. they probably just didn't ask me that because of that. Because I know a lot of you say that in your place, there is mandatory that they ask you. Where I went, they didn't, they just knew that that's what I wanted and that's what they gave me. So I brushed this person off, we're still friends. And I ended up, mind you, I was dating someone prior for a long time. Because I only have long-term relationships. I don't do 1 month, 2 months. I'm not going to call it a relationship if it's not longer than a year. So, yeah. And then I just started, seeing this person. Anyway, I'm brushing them off, we're cool, whatever. So, I've noticed I start having headaches and fevers. I'm getting really nauseous, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the doctor again, because what the hell? I'm real worried. I have a doctor, he tells me, I had the one telling me I'm fine. I'm good. I go to another one that my friend had introduced me to, and he tells me I have cervical cancer. And I'm freaking out, like, what the hell? Oh, my God. Panicking, thinking that's what's going on. And then I go to another doctor for a second opinion, and who said that? You're perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong with you. Like, who told you that? And here I am thinking I'm cold, fine and dandy, so I go home thinking I'm tripping, making myself feel like I'm sick when I'm really not. I go to sleep. I wake up. I'm starting to notice I'm not able to make it to my front door to get my food off the porch. I'm slowly dragging, and I'm like, shoot, maybe I must have drank a lot, because I did end up drinking, I think, the night before, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just hungover. Then that next day, I'm finding myself, it was immediately, I'm running headfirst to the bathroom. And I'm like, what the hell? This don't make sense. I can't make it to the toilet. I slide off the toilet, bust my tail, try to climb back on it. Right. And mind you, I'm still hungry. So my friend ends up coming and getting my food from my front door and bringing it in because I had to leave my door unlocked. I'm like, dude, I can't make it. I'm sick. I don't know why I'm sick. It got to the point where my friend was coming over and helping me with things until I felt better. But I was just getting worse. So my friend had went home, and I ended up getting a bucket. I found a bucket that I had. Don't know where the hell I got this bucket, but I had a bucket. And I put it next to my bed, and I was like, okay, I cannot make it to the bathroom. I cannot, this is horrible. I tried to vomit and poop. I would vomit in the bucket, but then when I had to poop, I literally pooped on my floor. I pooped on my floor. Because I could not make it. It was extreme diarrhea. And hence why I'm talking about my tail being a major problem here. And I'm just like, man. I found a way to, don't know how, I called an Uber, and I ran down my hallway. Of course I ran, walked into the walls type of deal. Shoot. So I get in my Uber, and I'm sitting there, and dudes are like, you okay? You okay? I'm like, I just need to go to the doctor. I don't want to freak him out because, whole COVID thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I just need to get there. And he's like, well, we're going to be okay. Being nice. I get in, I'm waiting, see a doctor, they do some little something, and they tell me, oh, you're fine, and I'm getting the same runaround. And I'm like, this just don't seem right. And I'm like, well, I got to go to the bathroom. While I'm here, I'm going to wait at the bathroom and try to get in. And as I'm waiting, mind you, I'm still kind of loopy in my head a little bit because I'm like, I'm slowly getting delusional. And the doctor comes down and he's like, oh my gosh, thank God you're not gone. He's like, did they figure it out? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, all of these symptoms you're having, something is not adding up. He's like, I'm going to try to give you a room. He's like, I need to get you a bed. We need to run some more tests. He's like, because he's like, something's telling me you need to stay. You need to stay. And I was like, okay, I'm obviously not happy about being in there because it's a freaking hospital. And I know I'm going to be there all night. But I needed it. So they run some tests and looking at it, asking me stupid questions again at the end of the day. And then they're just looking at their board and they're like,
3 signs your car accident is worth major compensation. If you've been in a car accident recently, there are 3 critical signs that could indicate your case is worth significant compensation, possibly even 6 or 7 figures. Sign number 1, insurance tried to settle quickly after your accident.
Did you know you have AIDS? And I'm just sitting there already in my mind, already just like over the whole day, just kind of like, no. I'm like, I do. You know, I'm just kind of like, huh? Okay. You know, like what? And I had, you know, I'm like, well, dang. And they prescribed me some pills. They only prescribed it to me for 1 month. Mind you, these pills are like $4,000 a bottle. A month, and I'm supposed to take it for the rest of my life, but they don't tell me that. They tell me it's for 1 month. Mind you, I'm still new to this whole AIDS thing at that point. So I'm not knowing about the whole rest of my life situation. But so that goes down, and it's like I call my mom. I'm telling her the news. My mom's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" You know what? Immediately they're on their way. We're getting in the car. We're driving out there because my mom doesn't do planes, and I wouldn't be able to get on one anyway because of the fevers I was having and COVID. You know, being so strict with the planes. So my mom literally drove all the way to LA to come get me, and she comes there. I'm just laid up. She said I looked like death because I have done. It's like my weight was going so rapidly. I had at this point I'm experiencing wasting syndrome, meaning no matter what I do, I am not getting this weight. The weight is just falling off. And it got to the point, so she drives me all the way back. Man, I couldn't get in the tub. My tailbone started showing. Like, because we had to stay at some hotels, you know, because driving all the way there and driving all the way back took a couple days. And she tried to keep me at home for a little while, but it just wasn't working. I was screaming and crying all night because my tail wanted to, you know, poo. It wanted to poo, and it was not coming out. So we had ambulances come to the house and try to help me, but I was so delusional and high out of my mind with my brain deteriorating that I wasn't on anything. I was just slowly losing my mind. And I let them use the little squirter thing they put down there to, you know, make the poo exit. I eventually had to go to the hospital where I had 2 nurses. I didn't have any numbing. I didn't have no type of nothing for the pain. They immediately got out this big pan. He put his gloves on, and he had to enter me and pull everything that was in there out. At this point, my whole entire intestine area, my whole tail stuff was destroyed. So it was just gathering and building, and I had like pounds of poo in there that they had to take out. I'm screaming. I'm begging them to stop. It hurts. I mean, most pain I've ever had in my entire life. And they couldn't stop because they had to get it out, or I just, you know, you can die from that. So eventually it just comes down to the doctors telling my mom, I can't leave. I can't leave or I will not make it. At this point, I'm down to 60 pounds. 60 pounds. If I were to be a pound less, I probably would have died. I'm not going to lie to you. I was 60 pounds. Right now, I'm currently 98 pounds. Good old 98. Fucking little thickums. Thank the Lord. But at this point, I can't leave the hospital. I have to stay. So they got me a big room. Doctors couldn't even come into my room unless they changed their clothes. And every time they left, they had to change back because my immune system was so destroyed that I would get sick with anything. I don't want to go too far into everything I had to go through in these hospitals. It was insane. Like, I was getting blood transfusions. My whole arm was black with how many shots I had to get, how many injections, how much blood they had to take. It was a daily thing. Every day at 4 a.m, I had to get blood work done. That'd be like 6 to 8 bottles of blood taken. And then when they'd have to shoot magnesium into my blood, I mean, it burned. It sucked. I was not enjoying it. The pills they ended up giving me, they would end up chopping up and trying to put in pudding, and I would just vomit it all out. I was taking about 16 pills a day. And they were also testing pills on me. Sometimes it didn't work, and I would be like higher than high, but thinking I was going to die, along with the extreme panic attacks and anxiety attacks that I was having. And they would ignore me and leave me in the room sometimes and just let me scream it out. And it was just all bad. Mind you, in all of this, I didn't take a bath for about 6 months, meaning they would come into the room and have to hand wash me every other day or every day. And they would bring in nurses that were training and telling them how to clean me. Mind you, the way I am, I have no shame in my body because so many people have already seen me naked at this point, so it is what it is. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it to a bathroom. I was still pooping on myself. And that's why I wear briefs, because my bowels are so destroyed. Currently, they're getting so much better that I'm not having to wear my brief as much. I might wear it to sleep sometimes, but I do not have to wear them anymore. And I thank the Lord that I've made it to this point in my life, because, wow. So I am currently going through therapy 3 times a week, and I'm still getting blood work done. I take my medicine every day. And a lot of people recommend don't do your pills, do the natural route, you'll be healed. But believe it or not, the majority of messages I get about people dealing with it, their family members dealing with it, when they do not take their medication, they die. You die. Yes. Okay. The natural way. Do some natural stuff, but you have to take your medicine or you will die. And I know so many people try to preach, there's a cure, there's a cure, there's a cure. Don't take your medicine. You will still be the same one that will die. So I preach, take your medication. But like I also say, you can get your life back. You can. I will walk again. I will see again. Yes, I started losing my vision. Weeks within, because I should have mentioned this before, weeks within being in the hospital, I started losing it, and they had to come in and give me injections because I had caught CMV. CMV is a disease that a lot of pregnant women get, and their kids come out deformed or with some kind of disability. But I happened to get that in my eyes. I was prone to it from having AIDS. People who have AIDS are prone to getting this disease. And I got it. So I got it there, and so there's a lot of blood floating around. People ask if glasses will help. No, I have to get the blood out. I might have to wear glasses, but for now, glasses will not help me because I can see the blood moving around in my vision until we can get it all out. So I am currently 100% blind here with just a little bit of light. So I guess I could say 99% blind. And this one is, working its way. But I just speak healing into it. I have to, because I know I will have my life back. I'm currently undetectable, meaning untransmittable, meaning I cannot transfer this to anyone else. If I am with someone, they are going to know my status. I'm not keeping it from them. I'm a very open person. They don't already know me already. I'm pretty sure whoever I get with is going to know who I am. And yeah, they'll know. So, am I dating? No, not right now. Do I have kids? No, I have a dog. She's deaf. I'm just answering some of the questions you guys asked me real quick. I just got a $5,000 loan deposit straight to my bank account. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make my rent this month. Do I plan on having kids? I don't know. What else? Did I infect anyone? No, I've asked all my partners. So whoever gave this to me, or however I got it, because like I told people, it could have been a dirty tattoo. Mind you, like, what do I have, like 9 tattoos?
So what about?
And I didn't get all.
So who is the girl?
Why did I do that, you ask? Because tattoos is expensive, and when they free, I'm gonna say, yeah. I mean, hey, broke mindset, I guess. And probably not the smartest mindset. So
The tragic story of
like I said, one of the people who took advantage of me that I do not know by name. Do I know where they are now?
I think I've seen that.
Which sucks. But the
I got
person
HIV from my baby's father.
That I had the hives. He says he's clean as well. Meanwhile, he's out living his life and touring and stuff.
Story time. Confronting the person who infected me with HIV.
Now there's that. So
These are all
story, that's
women.
basically my story of
I
time.
found out I had HIV. These are all
How I
women.
found out I had AIDS. And if I know, because I don't know. Now, I can't just come out here and just blame somebody and then, God forbid, I'm wrong, right? When I also really, truly believe it could have been a dirty angel. That's just me. I know a lot of you think that I'm covering up for someone and that I've been paid hush money. I promise you, if I had some hush money, I bet you would be seeing it. You'd be seeing me in some kind of house with marble floors, and you know, I would be rubbing it in people's faces. But I ain't got no hush money. That would actually probably be great.
Chicago woman
Not the case.
shares a story on how she
I have no filter.
contracted HIV in Atlanta.
I would snitch. I'm snitch because I'm a sauce knife twice. Twice they told my mom to get ready for me to not make it. Prepare your arrangements for my funeral. But I made it.
Is that the same girl?
And here I am today, talking to you.
That look like the same girl.
And did I know I'm going to be judged? Yes.
A day in life, overcoming challenges with positivity.
I didn't come out to be an activist. I came out so that people knew.
That's her.
What the reason?
Let's see.
Good morning, you guys. I'm Gina 2, and welcome back.
That's her. I thought she said. Yeah, that's her.
Today I have physical therapy at 11:15. It is currently 9:30 in the morning, and I'm barely freaking moving. So I don't have a lot of time here. So I'm not going to do a lot of makeup.
Oh my God, I'm
All
going to bed.
it is my therapy.
This is crazy.
It's tinted, so I'm going to use that. Maybe some concealer, like my MAC concealer, and keep it very, very neutral today. Because there's no need for me to beat.
But I think it's the girl that.
My first day back in therapy.
I think the girl said that.
Since I've had actual physical therapy. So see, this is what I mean by tinted.
Let me see first.
See that? Most of you guys know my story. I have AIDS. I'm in a wheelchair. I was down for a very long time, and a lot of you want to know how my walking progress is going. So I figured, why not take you guys with me? I think that would be a lot better than constantly answering questions about, am I okay? Or, you know, I'm still working on it. I hope they don't mind me filming in there. I will ask. If not, I will still. So y'all know, I've come to terms that I don't know who gave me AIDS or HIV, right? So today, I got a message about an interview that I should watch. And this interview happened to include a celebrity man that I was sexually with for a few years, and I actually had feelings for this person. Y'all, Gina 2 just shook the internet. The TikTok star with multiple followers is now hinting that a certain high-profile celebrity one she had an on and off thing with for years and even caught feelings for might be the reason she's living with HIV today. And if you've been keeping up with these industry whispers, then you already know who folks are speculating about. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this might be one of the most low-key yet chilling exposés we've seen since the Cassie allegations. We're talking secret relationships.
She already told me when you said Cassie.
That could explode the entire game. Gina's not just another influencer. She's been in circles with rappers, athletes, and major industry names. And when she said she had to deal with the cops over this man because of conduct, that wasn't no throwaway line. So let me break it down for y'all, piece by piece, what she said, what she hinted, what fans are putting together, and why some believe the mystery man might just be none other than Diddy himself. In a viral clip, Gina opened up to her followers with raw emotion, saying, I don't know if I want to brush it off anymore, because what if this is the person who did this to me? And I don't know how to brush it off anymore, because it's like, what if? You know, what if this is the person who did this to me? He's living his best life. She went on to say she had been involved with this unnamed celebrity man on and off for years. And when she watched his recent interview, something just clicked. And what's even wilder, she revealed she had gone to the police before over him due to behavior. She didn't name him, but it was clear. hookup. This was someone she trusted, someone she loved, someone powerful enough that even now she ain't ready to say his name publicly. She captioned the video.
You did.
I just feel gross and irritated. It is what it is, but I'll never blame anyone without proof. But the tone said it all. This wasn't some vague regret. This was heartbreak. In another follow-up video, she told fans, "It's so hard to say stuff without saying stuff. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. It's going to take me a while, but just be patient with me." Now let's talk connections. Fans wasted no time doing their own digging, and the name that keeps coming up, Diddy. And here's the thing. Diddy has long been rumored to have had intimate ties with several younger influencers, models, and even alleged escorts through the years. And many of those relationships were either brushed under the rug or kept hush-hush through NDAs and payouts. Remember Cassie? So when Gina talks about someone living their best life and casually talking about STDs in interviews, y'all already know who that sounds like. Another reason fans are pointing fingers, the timing. Gina said she was diagnosed with HIV back in 2021, but had been active with the mystery man years before that. That overlaps with the same time Diddy was rumored to be hosting his infamous freak-off parties. We all heard the leaked court testimony and allegations from Cassie and other victims talking about bizarre, unprotected, and out scenarios where informed consent was barely even a concept. Now let's connect more dots. Gina says she had to deal with cops because of this man. This isn't some soft scandal. It sounds like criminal behavior. In fact, some are speculating her mention of the police may tie into past cases Diddy quietly settled or suppressed through legal muscle. Also, Diddy recently trended again after fans noticed the CDC website updated stats surrounding HIV rates, with folks speculating that certain black male celebrities were being protected from public scrutiny through private settlements and sealed health records. Meanwhile, Gina's health updates only make this more emotional. At her lowest, she weighed just 65 pounds, couldn't walk unaided, and went half blind from complications related to the virus. This wasn't just a silent diagnosis, this was a life-altering nightmare, but now she's fighting back. She celebrated that her CD4 count had finally bounced back. That means I'm no longer being seen as having AIDS. I'm being seen as having HIV. HIV, yeah, she continued. I got to the point to where I'm undetectable, untransmittable, and I can live my life just like everybody else. I mean, of course, I'm in a chair and I'm half blind, but still, we're working on that. Y'all, I'm so happy. Now look, nobody's saying Gina is out here throwing accusations with no receipts. If anything, she's doing the opposite. She said she wants to pursue the matter legally before naming names, but she also made it clear that her gut tells her the truth. And if her hunch is right, that would make Diddy